switch gears a little bit and talk about the social justice movement. I know there's been conversation about what Bill has talked about, supporting the players, and that you guys at some point will talk to the players about what you do. I want to talk about what the organization is doing just to make sure that the entire organization is embracing the movement and that there's more maybe diversity at your executive levels. Has there been conversation about any work in that space?
Absolutely. There's been tons of conversation. I think you've seen our owner, Cal McNair, lead that conversation by his series that they're doing called Conversations for Change. And we've had several conversations at the executive level between myself and Jamie and Amy and Susie and Bill, where we'll have conversations about, how can we continue to do better in this area? How can we continue to be educated? Because it starts with really being educated and learning how you can do better. And also, I think in sports in general, being aware of what's going on in sports from an opportunity standpoint. I think one of the things that I know Cal and Janice have been very committed to is opportunities, trying to find in our organization as many spots where real opportunities will be given to increase diversity and hopefully give us a chance to train and educate and bring in awesome, diverse candidates for multiple positions that can hopefully matriculate both up in our organization and also to other organizations as we're successful here in Houston. So I think Cal and Janice's commitment to diversity has been very, in my opinion, very intentional. And I'm excited about being a part of that. I think Bill and I are going to hopefully be a huge part of that with what we're doing in football.
And just one follow-up, thank you for that. How do you move beyond the conversations? Because maybe that wasn't the right question for me to ask, to where there's some action, right? Because it's been a few months since the world turned upside down. And I think the communities are getting a little weary of all the conversations and looking for actions. And so are there some action? Is there some action on the horizon? Thank you.
Right. Well, thank you so much for that question, because that's exactly right. I think it does have to transition at some point. And I think, I can speak personally for myself, right? I've been so blessed by so many people who come from backgrounds that I did not come from in my life, who've really ultimately changed my life, who've molded me, who've challenged me. And a lot of times they have educated me on their backgrounds and their stances and things that are different than maybe the way I grew up or the way I was raised. And so I think it starts with conversation, as you mentioned, but then it transitions to them sharing their experiences and giving practical ways that their experience could have been improved, right? So friends or family or people that we've interacted with around our own sphere hopefully will educate us and give us practical ways. Hey, if this would have been different for me growing up, or if this opportunity would have been afforded to me, I maybe would have had a different experience. And that gives us the action item, right? Because that person can then tell us what specifically we should fund, or what specifically we should try to do to really make a difference. So I think for me, the conversations, we're in a time right now where a lot of conversations are happening, right? Everybody's virtual, so we can't get together as much as we wish. But my prayer is that we'll transition hopefully where we will have many face-to-face meetings and many programs that will come out of this education and this, let's just call it awareness, that we've been given over this last several months, especially here in Houston. And honestly, for me and my family, we couldn't be more excited about the McNair's commitment to diversity, where they are trying to make a difference in the community, and hopefully me and my family being a huge part of that as ambassadors for diversity.